Hey, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Restless. Caleb, glad you can make it. We're going to give people a few more minutes to get in and get settled, but looks like we've got a couple of you here already. If you are watching, I encourage you to engage in the chat room. Also, if you engage in the chat, then we know that you're watching, as opposed to, I can see that there's 6 people viewing, but the only person that I know who is here is Caleb, because he's been in the chat. Hey, Amy, happy Friday. Glad you guys are here. We're just going to give a few minutes for people to. Aiden, glad you can make it. Once again, let me know if you guys feel free to say in the comments, hey, I'm having trouble hearing. Can you turn up your volume? Or, hey, this is a problem. But this is one of the things that I was playing around with earlier, is that you can see that you see me in the background. I was playing around with this. I thought that was kind of fun. I thought I'd show you guys. I was trying to figure out what the screen actually looks like for you guys. So I was just curious, and now I know what you guys are seeing. I think it's funny that it's a mirror image. So yeah, so we've got Jazz up there in the corner. I'm going to turn the computer over to the correct input. Up. We got a purple screen. So I've been having all sorts of technical difficulties today getting this computer working. The reality of it is our laptop's from 2011, and sometimes it doesn't always behave itself, but we'll get it back up to functioning, and worst case scenario, I've got a backup plan. So we will be okay. We are not completely dependent on the technology, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Hopefully it does. Regardless, we're gonna have fun today. I'm looking forward to today. We're gonna have a. So it looks like the computer isn't gonna be very happy with us today. Oh, we might be okay. Everything's gonna be okay. Don't panic. Hey, Emily, glad you're here. Well, either, the reality of it is, if the screen is all purple while we're trying to go, that is manageable. So we'll be okay. I'm not too worried about that. Although I do think, interesting. So now it's not putting the screen onto the TV. It's putting it onto my computer. See if we can't get that sorted out. We're going to see if this will do it. This might not be the best solution, but it is a potential solution. Nope, it's still on my screen. Well, I'll talk to you guys a little bit, but I'll spend the next 30 seconds or so trying to get this to work. If it doesn't work, so be it. I will live. Okay, so it is what it is. I'm going to mute my computer because I'm hearing my phone coming in through the speakers, and it's just distracting. So, Emily and Elsa, glad you guys are here. Glad everybody is watching. So happy Friday. I hope you guys are having a good week. So for some of you guys that get my text where I'm telling you about what we're going to be doing and what we've got going on, one of the things that we have planned coming up in the future for a hangout is we're going to do a Bob Ross paint together night. So we're not allowed to be together in person, so we're not going to be doing that. But we do have the opportunity to get together on Zoom. So on Zoom, what we're going to do is we're going to hang out, and we are going to do a Bob Ross painting class where I'll get all of you guys the Amazon Prime order number to order these kits so that we all have the same art pieces, and we're going to do some art together. And I think you guys would enjoy it. I think it'll be really fun. I'm looking forward to it. But for those of you that don't know, I am a notoriously terrible artist. Like, I'm really bad. Like there's bad, and then there's me. So here I am. For some reason we're seeing the screen I want you guys to see here. So I might see if maybe we can't do this, but this is a little janky if you ask me, but we'll see what we can get to work. So one of the things that that for me, like there's some things, that talents that people have that like whenever you see it, you're like really blown away. For me, like I am just totally impressed when somebody has like the tiniest bit of artistic talent. Like for me, like drawing is a struggle. Like stick figures are kind of my limit, right? Like I can't even do the thing. Like I struggle to figure out how to get a stick figure to even be moving in the picture, right? Like there's people like, oh, I'm going to make a stick figure walking. I'm like, how do I make a stick figure walk? I don't even know how to do that. So I am pretty bad. So you guys are going to be in for a treat when we do that event. I'm looking forward to doing that with you guys. And one of the things that I thought that we would do for fun today would be to play some Pictionary with you guys, right? So I'm going to have people text me things to try to draw, and I'm going to give myself a 1-minute timer. And then I want you guys, I'm going to draw it really quick, and then you guys are going to try to guess what it is. So Amy Wozni, since I know you have my phone number, some of you guys have my number that you're able to text to. Caleb, I know that you have it. Aiden, I know your mom has it. You can get it from her. So if you guys have something that's not too complicated that you think I might be able to draw in just 1 minute, go ahead and shoot me a text. I don't want you guys to say it in the actual chat because then everybody's going to see it. But I want you guys to send it to me, text it to me, and then I will try to draw it, and then we'll see how well that goes. So for those of you guys that have thoughts, go ahead and text them to me, and I'll start drawing the first one when I get it. And then we'll see if you guys, and then I'll hold it up to you guys after a minute. I'll show it to you. And then you guys have to try to see whether you can tell what it is or not. So I'm going to go ahead and brighten this screen a little bit so it's a little easier to see. How about we elevate it too? How's this? So ministry is all about being flexible. So we're going to be as flexible as we can, make this work. Hopefully you guys will be able to read the game we're going to play in a bit. So here we go. I've got my first one. I'm going to set my timer for 1 minute, and then I'll hold it up for you guys. And I'm not a very good multitasker. For those of you guys that know me, I'm not even that great of a single tasker. But we're gonna go ahead and give this a shot. And I'm going to try to talk to you guys while I'm drawing. It might prove difficult, but then we will continue to play this game for a couple rounds. You know what? For the sake of just making this not take a really long time, I'm going to do 30 seconds. So I'm going to do it as quick as I can in 30 seconds, and then we'll get going. So I appreciate you guys not making the first couple way too tough. So I'm going to go ahead and start on this first one. So here we go. Set my timer for 30 seconds.
Okay, your timer is set for 30 seconds.
Okay, so here I'm drawing this first one. For those of you guys that didn't know, I grew up in Singapore, which was definitely a unique situation to grow up in. But one of the things that was really, really cool about Singapore is Singapore has a ton of McDonald's. So growing up, the cool thing to do, I don't know if this was cool in the United States. Wow. 30 seconds went by really, really fast. I didn't even have enough time to tell a story. So Singapore, like, I don't know, in the United States here, was there like a really cool thing to be able to do during for your Singapore? It was all about getting your birthday at McDonald's. Like, it was a big deal. Like, you get to hang out, you get your whole room in the play place, right? And you'd be hanging out in that space. And I just remember there was a little thing where they let you be they made like a birthday train where they would have the cake on a cart and everybody would push the cart, and you would always wanted to be the kid that was like at the front of the train pushing the cart. And if it was your birthday, that got to be you. So that was always a highlight. I don't know what made me think of that story. Maybe it was my picture, but here it is. Okay. Do you guys have any guesses? Do you guys have any guesses? Yeah, Aiden, that's a great, that is a great piece of information. So in Singapore, things about Singapore is, yeah, they call them, we know them as trains, but they actually call them MRT. So it's called Mass Rapid Transit, or MRT. And one of the things that's cool, it's more specific than that, Caleb. So one of the things that's cool about the Singapore train system is it's like a hybrid between a train, a subway, and a monorail. So how cool is that? So you might be riding on the subway, underground going, and then you might come up, and then before you know it, you're like up above the ground. So riding on the train is pretty awesome. Yes, Emily and Elsa, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I was worried I was going to completely fail on my first one. Here we go. I'll do I don't know. There's a sports broadcaster, every time he does it, he tries to hit the camera. Okay, so I'm gonna look up my next text. And then, oh man, Caleb, this is a rough one. This is a rough one for a guy of my skills. Set my timer for 30 seconds. So Caleb really
Your timer is set for 30 seconds.
Caleb really set me up for a doozy on this one, I think. But one of the things that I was thinking, I did just throw that one out, but maybe I should save these and use them as a use this as like put them up on my refrigerator. Carolyn will be done with her work. She's working upstairs. She'll be done with her work. Oh my gosh. So Caleb, you're not allowed to guess because that wouldn't make any sense on this one. But I would be surprised if anybody got this. Okay, I'm going to give myself another 10 seconds and then see if this might give it away. I don't know if this will help, but anybody have any guesses? Anybody? I would be really shocked if anybody got this one. This one was tough. Cole, you've never been to the Leaning Tower of Pisa? I've been to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. It was pretty cool. It's in Italy. So I went to Italy, and I think it was 2007 or 2008 with two of my buddies, and we traveled. So with my art skills, yeah, Cole, I wouldn't be surprised if that was supposed to be ahead. So how about I set my timer for another 30 seconds and see if anybody. Oh, okay. Aiden got this, but this is trying to indicate what that might be. So yes, I'm glad you're able to tell that was an egg. I realized that if I just drew an egg, that it just looks like a circle. Like I don't have the artistic ability to make it look like just an actual egg, as opposed to I really struggle in the world of like 3-dimensional shading. Nobody. Okay, yeah. I would have been shocked if anybody got this one right, but this one was input by Caleb, and this was supposed to be a chicken leg. So do you guys see a chicken leg? It's okay if you don't see a chicken leg, but yeah, that was a tough one. So if you guys want to keep sending in suggestions, or not suggestions, I don't know what I did with I did it on the back. I just realized whatever the page in my notebook was that I ripped out and threw was not the one that I did the art on. So hopefully there wasn't some important note that I needed on there. I can see why you would see a head on that. Okay. So next one. So feel free to continue to send in text. Emily and Elsa, if you guys want to send a text in, you can get your brother Russell if he's around to send it in. Aiden is mean, man. Okay. I will give that one a shot, Aiden, but I'm not going to do that one now. Okay. I'm going to give this one a go. Here we go. Set my alarm for 30 seconds. Okay, so Cole, just so you know, the way this game works.
The alarm is set for 2:15 p.m.
Yeah, Aiden, I know what that is. I just didn't know. Like, I was just saying that was a really hard one to draw. Set my timer for 30 seconds.
Your timer is set for 30 seconds.
So, okay, here we go. I feel like I have a good chance on this one. Maybe. It's going downhill fast. I had a good idea, and then I realized doing all of this in 30 seconds might be tough. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so Cole, you weren't really around when we were explaining the rules of this game, but if you want me to draw something, you don't want people to know what I'm drawing because then they have to guess. So you need to either text it to me. Yes, my first success right away. You guys got the pineapple. So Cole, if you want me to draw something, you need to either get your mom to text or get a phone number to text, and then you can insert those. But I can't, if you tell me to draw something, it kind of takes the fun out of people guessing. But drawing Yoshi would have been a real tough one. Okay. Yes. Emily and Elsa, I love that answer. This is a pineapple. Let me put a door on it, and then it turns into SpongeBob's house. Best day ever. Okay, terrible door. Okay, here we go. Next one. Yeah, if you guys want me to draw things, you need to either text it to me or get one of your parents to text it to me. Okay, I'm going to try this, but I don't know if I can do it in 30 seconds, but I'll give it a shot. Here we go. Set my timer for 30 seconds.
Okay.
So the difficult thing that I'm having with this game, in the fact that I'm supposed to be talking and drawing at the same time, is that I'm trying to talk to you guys and tell you a story about something that doesn't give away what I'm trying to draw. Like, I don't want to give myself an advantage. This is pretty good for 30 seconds, I think. I think if I had done this, if I'd had a minute, I may have been able to do a little better on this. So yeah, Aiden, that is the start of it. Yes, that is a baseball field. That was kind of what I was trying to get at. I didn't have enough time to do some of the additional work. So I don't think anybody will get the correct answer on this one just because it doesn't really have enough. Yeah, so cool. That's perfect. It is. So it was supposed to be a grand slam. So I was supposed to draw a grand slam, and I ran out of time because I was going to put people that were running and then put a 4 at the bottom, indicating that they scored 4 runs. So it was supposed to be a grand slam, but the fact that you guys figured out baseball field and then you figured out home run for 30 seconds, I'm feeling pretty proud of myself. So, because I think a third grader would have been proud of doing this. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that's good? Or do you think that's not something that a third grader would be into? Okay, so I'm going to try to do Aiden's now. And I'm trying to think of what kind of context to draw around it to make it look like a little bit more. But okay, here, I'm going to give it my best shot. Here we go. So Aiden's isn't particularly complex, but I don't know how to differentiate it from just a bunch of others you might know. So I think you guys will be able to get this. I think you're smart enough to read between the lines that I'm trying to draw to figure out the answer. Okay. It's not the greatest drawing ever, but what do you guys think? So just a reminder, if you guys are watching and if you're in the chat, if you want to put your name in the chat, then we know who all's here. We've got 11 of y'all watching, but I'm only hearing from 6 or 7 of you, so feel free to engage in the chat if you want to know. So you guys are trying to guess. I'm getting text messages from students telling me what I should draw, and then I'm drawing it, and then they're trying to guess what it is. So do you guys have any guesses as to what this might be? It's not very, yes, first, I love that, Declan, yes. All of my drawings just look like cheese. That is true. Well, I wouldn't be surprised. I am thrilled that Amy got that on the first guess. Yes, that is the Burj Khalifa, or the world's tallest building. So let's look at all of my cheese. I guess the baseball field, not as much. But the pineapple, yeah, I can see cheese. The Leaning Tower of Pisa definitely looks like cheese. Or a cheese grater. How about that? That's a cheese grater. Yeah, so I drew cheese and cheese grater. Okay. So yeah, if you guys want to see me draw something, you can go ahead and text it to me. We'll probably play this for another minute or two before we move on to our next activity. Okay. I feel like I'm getting my notebook all screwed around. Okay, here we go. Set my timer for 30 seconds.
Okay, your timer is set for 30 seconds.
I feel like, this kind of puts me in my element in the fact that giving me like 10 minutes to improve on what I'm doing when you're not any good when it comes to art isn't particularly helpful, right? So I feel like giving me a little more time, all it might do is give me the opportunity to screw it up a little more. Although I do keep on finding myself going, oh, I still want to draw this, or I was going to draw this, but I think I'm doing okay. Okay, here we go. I know you guys are going to be able to get the gist of this one, I think, at least. Any guesses as to what that? So yes, Emily, man, I feel like if anything today, my confidence is being boosted. I mean, it's a little discouraging to have our TV failure, but we're still having fun. We're still having a good time. So the fact that you guys are encouraging me by knowing what I'm drawing, because I've always known myself as a terrible, terrible artist. So the fact that in 30-second Pictionary with a little bit of creativity, you guys are able to figure out what I am doing. So I feel pretty good about that. So I hear you So where it says Wayne Klusmeyer, that's actually Marty talking. The names are folded over. So yes, Cole, that does look a lot like an ambulance. You know, in some places in the country, an ambulance is kind of frequently used. They use a Jeep as a rural ambulance. So, but yes, that was specifically a Jeep. I'm going to do one last check to see if there were any like, oh, I have to try to do this. Okay, Amy, I'm going to try to do that one. I'm going to give myself 45 seconds on this because there's a couple details that I think I need to make sure in there. So I'm going to do one last one, and then we're going to move on to our next activity. And hopefully that will work when it's not plugged into the TV. But if not, we still have options. The name of our game today is flexibility. We're going to be flexible with everything that we're doing. And I hope you guys are having a good time. This is going to be, I don't want to say this is like a super difficult one, but this is going to be one that's going to require me. It has multiple things I need to draw. So far, everything I've had like one thing, and then I've just had to do that. This is one like you have to do a group of things in order for you guys to get it. So I'm going to do 45. Set my timer for 45 seconds.
Your timer is set for 45 seconds.
Here we go. But I don't want to do so terrible of a job that you guys don't know what's going on at all. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yikes. Boy. I may have blown it. We'll see. Oh boy. Yeah, this is getting my major downfall, which is I never learned how to draw animals. Oh, I think the animal might blow it up. I really screwed this one up. I feel really good about it for the first two things that I drew, and then I drew the third thing, and I'm like, oh no, that's just confusing. So I just got one more submission from somebody, so I'll do one more after this one, and then we'll move on. So this is going to take some serious interpretation from you guys. Read between the lines, maybe assume a few things were done better. Yeah, I know. I'm with you on that one, Cole. I do not feel great about it. And when I tell you what especially when I tell you what that animal is, you're going to be really surprised. That's for certain. Do you guys have any guesses? I guess my question, I'll give you guys a little bit of encouragement. Maybe if I just took this guy out of it, take that guy out of it. We've got, what's that? What might that be? That's not a very good thing there. That's not a very good thing either. There's a guy. There's one of those. Let's take that out of it. It was yeah, I don't think that was helpful. And then we've got that. I'm going to give you guys just a few more seconds to chime in. You got to be creative on this one. This is why when I say I have the artistic ability of a third grader, I'm serious. Because when you find out what that is, you're going to be like, are you kidding me? Okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, nobody got it. It's supposed to be Jack and the Beanstalk. I know. Terrible. That was supposed to be Jack and the Beanstalk. Hey, we got somebody put it in, but it was a little bit late. So yeah, cool. That's a good guess too. So yeah, it was Jack and the Beanstalk. So here, I'm going to do 30 seconds. This one last one. I think I'm going to be able to get this one as a win. So here we go. Set my timer for 30 seconds.
Your timer is set for 30 seconds.
So remember, if you said this one, you are not allowed to guess this one. I'm trying to do it quickly because I think I did an okay job. It's not great. Yeah. Okay. How did I do? Not the greatest. Not the greatest. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Any guesses? Any guesses? And yes, thank you, Aiden. I'm glad I mean, to be fair, I just wanted to close on a good note so that I feel good about myself. So thanks for humoring me, guys. So when we do the group on, it's going to actually be on the 11th in September. So 3 weeks from now, when we do that group, and we're going to do the art day where everybody's going to get some art supplies out, and we're going to be on a Zoom chat, and we're going to have a video that we're all following. So it's more of like teaching us how to paint. It's not like me just telling you, hey, do this. Thanks, Cole. I appreciate that. It's not just us winging it, but it's going to be a guided art day where we're just going to hang out and talk and have fun. So I encourage you guys to join us on the 11th. That's what we're going to be doing there. That's kind of our fall kickoff event where we don't really get to gather together, but we'll just be together doing the same thing, participating together, having a good time. So I encourage you guys to come to that. I'm going to try this next activity. It was struggling. Like I said, this computer is from 2011, so it has some struggles that don't work very well. And if it works, great. If not, we'll just move on. We've already had a pretty good session so far, so it's not that big of a deal if we had to cut. So here we go. First, maybe. Nope. We are not going to play the next activity, I guess. Okay. I'll give it one last effort. Okay, it's not working. It's okay. We'll save that game for next week. So I'll explain going to play, and then I can show it to you guys next week. So the way the next activity was going to work is it was going to be a game involving numbers. And I know some of you guys are really good with numbers, but the way it was going to work is that we would show you a number, like a random number, and then we would give you then 3 additional things that might be the marker of, right? So a couple weeks ago, we played something that was similar where we asked like questions about how long do you think this was? How long do you think this was? Or what do you think this? But this week we're going to play, and it was going to be something to the extent of we would show you a number, and then we would give you 3 different answers, and then you had to guess what that number was the answer to. Like it would say, it'd say like 68,000 miles. A, circumference of the earth. B, distance from the earth to the sun. D, or C. So that's what we'll be doing next week, I guess. It doesn't look like this computer is going to start working. So I'll turn it back around and we'll just look at it. So sorry about the technical difficulties today, guys, but thanks for hanging in there. We'll spend some time this week trying to sort them all out, and hopefully everything gets working order. But for this week, just want to kind of the way I'm feeling, like usually during the week, I kind of like, this is something that I want to share with the students. This is something that I've been thinking about a lot, and kind of along the lines of just like me kind of having that mentality of like, hey, I'm a terrible artist, right? So Cole, I appreciate you saying you did a good job. The reality of it is like, am I going to become a famous artist? I hope not. I might be YouTube famous for some of those fails, but one of the things that I think it's really for us to do and to know is that our identity and our value doesn't come from our skills, right? Our identity and our value doesn't come from our skills. And what I mean by that is your worth is not based on how well you perform, right? And a lot of times that's what the world tells us, right? Is you're only good enough if your grades are high enough. Some of you might have strict parents and that's how you feel, or you're only good enough if you're better than everybody else at these sports, right? And you find there's somebody better than you, and it's a struggle and it's hard. You might find your value in the fact that, I'm the funniest kid in the class, and that's what makes me good enough. That's what makes me valuable. That's what gives me value. And I'm not saying you shouldn't strive for those things, but I think it's really important for you guys to know that you are valued and cared for as you are, right? And it's one of those things where the world is mean. That's just the reality of it. Is there's a lot of people out there that are going to criticize you, be critical of what you do. They're going to be hard on you. You make a mistake, they're going to laugh at you. They're going to point fingers at you. Maybe they're going to make fun of you, tease you. And unfortunately, that's just one of the realities of the world that we live in. People can be mean. People can be cruel. But I just want you guys to know that you guys are heading into the new school year. A lot of you guys are going to be taking, starting next week, the Poway Unified School District starts school next week. And when you go on campus, if you're able to go, or when you're able to go, I know most of you are going to be online. Only a handful of schools are going to be meeting in person. So most of you are going to be on a computer. I just want to remind you guys that it's like we at RB Community Church, we truly and genuinely love you guys, right? We really miss being together with you guys. We really miss being able to hang out with you. We miss being able to see your faces, hear your sense of humor out loud. And our desire is that we would be together, right? And right now, unfortunately, this is the best we can do for a season. And hopefully we get to be together soon. But I want you to know that this is coming from me, that you're loved and cared for by God. But one of the missions that God has given us at our church is that we desire to love others so that they would know that they are loved by God. So if you guys need any encouragement, if you need any care, if you need anything, feel free to contact us. All of you guys were able to send me text messages today, so I know that you can get in touch. I've been doing a lot of phone calls. Most of you guys I've talked to on the phone typically my phone calls these days are lasting over an hour. So if you guys are saying, hey, Richard, I'd love to get a phone call, send me a text message and I'll schedule them. Some of you, I got phone calls scheduled already. And I want to get together with you guys and just care for you well, because I know that God loves you and God cares for you. And one of the things that He tasked us with, myself, but also you, is to let other people know that they're cared for by the way that we treat them, right? So when you guys are going into school, going into class, try your best to not tear other people down. Try your best to not make fun of other people, but encourage them, because you don't know where they're coming from. You don't know what life looks like for them. And the reality of it is a lot of people are struggling right now. A lot of people aren't very happy with the way life is going. They're not happy about not being able to go to school. They're not happy about having to stay with their family all the time. I realize some of you guys might think that this is awesome. And for me, I'm doing well, right? But just because I'm doing well doesn't mean that the people around me might not be, and mean that I can just pretend like, oh, everything in life is great. Some people around you might be hurting, and God calls us to love those people. God calls us to care about those people. And more than anything, God has a desire that people would see Him through us. So that's my word for you guys today. It's just to encourage you guys to really, as you go into this next week, one, if it's at school, love people, encourage people, or even in your family, love and care for your family, because it's really easy at this point. We've been around the same people over and over and over for an extended period of time. And, I use that example of sandpaper. You rub your knuckles across sandpaper one or two times, it's not that big of a deal. But if you do it a whole bunch of times, eventually your knuckles are going to get raw. So you guys might be in a point in your relationship with your family where you might be feeling a little raw. So when you guys get there, I encourage you to dig deep for an extra dose of grace, because the reality is we have a lot of people that are showing us grace in this season too. So because next week is the next Friday is the first day of school, and people are going to be in front of the computer screen all day trying to get stuff done, we're going to take a hit break on next Friday's Restless session, but we will meet on Wednesday for a a Zoom meeting. So if you guys are able to meet on Wednesdays for Zoom, we would love to do that right before school starts. If you can't make it, I totally understand. And then lastly, remember, on the 11th of September, we are going to be doing our paint night. So I'll get you guys the link to make sure that you guys are able to join us. I don't know if you watched last week's Restless and saw that, but it was my first successful shooting out of the target. So I'm going to go ahead and pray while I find, I knocked the Nerf gun over. I wasn't quite sure where I did it. I'm going to pray, and then we're going to go lights out. So God, I thank you for each student that's here today. I thank you for the gift that you've given us to communicate and be together amidst this this season where there's so much separation. Technology that we use to do ministry so often, Lord, and even though it didn't work the way we planned it today, that we were still able to have a good time of connection. And pray that you would give me the wisdom that it takes to sort everything out in the coming week, and that as we get everything together, that we would continue to grow and be patient in our circumstances. God, pray that you would be with our church, be with our leaders, and continue to be with our families as we spend time together without being able to go out. Just pray that you just continue to bless us. In your name I pray, amen. Okay, I say bye. Jazz says bye. He usually gets a little excited when I put the gun out, so we'll see if he misfire. Uh-oh. That's anticlimactic. Oh, that was a dud. Jazz, you paying attention? That one stuck to the screen. Oh, close. Oh, hit it, but didn't quite stick. Oh, hit it, didn't stick. Think I'm out. Maybe one more? Nope. Well, last week was a success. This one was close. I got one close. But love you guys. Miss you guys. Hope to see you soon. Bye.